Alrighty, guys, welcome back. Earlier, we were talking about Indianapolis Star Bar's columnist Greg Doyle from covering Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever after inappropriate exchange. And we also touched on Caitlin Clark's security scare prompts the major WNBA change. And now, since it's Friday, we're going to dive into our Florida Man story of the week.
Okay,
Very
Faith.
excited. Yes.
So, because we had extra people on, it was a lot more serious than we're
Mm-hmm.
accustomed to.
Yes.
So I got to loosen up and let
You
my
gotta
hair
listen.
down a little bit. You know what I mean? It was, they were a little bit heavier topics,
Mm-hmm.
and having extra people, we normally have a little bit more lighter hearted show. So I'm
Yeah.
actually looking forward to this to kind of loosen up and take a little of that chip off a little bit there. But I really appreciate having those guys
I
on.
gotcha. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed them. Hopefully, we can have them on the show again soon.
Yes.
But with that, let's dive right into our Florida Man Friday story for the week. So, a Florida man was charged with flushing a woman's fish down the toilet. So, a Florida man is is facing several charges, including battery, grand theft, and flushing a woman's fish down the toilet. According to Cape Coral Police, Bret Austin Dahl, 29, is facing those charges based on two separate investigations. In the first, on February 7th, police said Dahl got into an argument with a woman in traffic. According to the report, Dahl got out of his vehicle, approached the victim's vehicle, reached into it, and smacked her cell phone out of her hand. The victim said Dahl also hit her left arm and spit on her vehicle. When Dahl was identified as the suspect in February incident, he was behind bars at the Lee County Jail for another incident that police said happened on May 4th. Officers said they were called to a home where the victim said Dahl shoved her, stole her iPhone, and then flushed her betta fish down the toilet. Dahl remains behind bars and faces battery, burglary, grand theft, and animal cruelty charges.
Okay, wait, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm confused. I am thoroughly confused. Okay, so this started out as a road rage incident?
Yes. So, the
How
police
did
was...
she end up at the house, at her house?
This is a different lady. This is a different
Oh, this
situation.
two different stories?
Yes. Yes. Two
Oh,
different incidences.
oh, okay. Okay, because I'm like, wait a minute here now.
Two different
You found her on the
incidences.
road. Okay, you got to re-explain this one because I had it as one story and I'm confused as heck.
Okay, so the first incident was on February 7th. They said he got into an argument with a woman in traffic. He got out of his vehicle, approached the victim's vehicle, reached in, smacked her cell phone, and it also said he hit her left arm and spit on the vehicle. It said when he was identified as a suspect in February, he was then behind bars at Lee County Jail for the other incident that happened on May 4th, and that was when he was at somebody's house. I don't know if it was his
And
house, if his
fish
girlfriend's
game.
house or whatever. Yeah, and shoved her, stole her iPhone, and then flushed her fish down the toilet. So that was
Okay,
another
that
incident.
I feel so much better knowing that this isn't the same woman and the same man because I'm like,
No, it's
I
the
got
same
questions on the,
guy.
no. I know it's the same
Yeah.
guy. Uh, this guy, you can tell, has a history of being a fool, but I was making sure it wasn't the same woman. Um, Unfortunately, when you start looking at criminals,
Hmm.
uh, there's a profile, a consistent history of doing foolish things.
Hmm.
If you Does it surprise you that the guy that had a road rage incident that jumped out of his car,
Flush
smacked,
somebody's fish down the
pimp slapped the phone out of somebody's hand and spit on a car? Are you surprised that he went to somebody's house and flushed their fish?
No.
Are you surprised at all? Zero.
Let me tell you something, Tate. I am
Yeah.
never, ever surprised with these Florida Man stories because I don't know if y'all have like something in your water or what it is. I don't know. But the amount of Florida Man stories compared to like, I don't know, California or
Yeah, I lived
Oregon,
in
like,
California for 30 years. Love living in California. But there's something special about Florida.
Mhm.
And I want to point something out to you, Faith. you have done Florida man, you've done Florida woman,
Mm-hmm.
uh, you've done MMA fighters and
Mm-hmm.
everything else. It is Florida. There's a gravitational pull in Florida that is unlike
Something, man.
everything else. There are, there's alligators and pythons and boa constrictors and everything else, all the way to syphilis monkeys. And it's like, I'm not joking. They
No,
actually
I
have
know. I
syphilis
read that.
monkeys.
Yeah, I read
And
that.
it's
Yeah.
like, when I first saw that, they didn't just say, "Oh, there's a large population of monkeys." No, the title was syphilis monkeys.
Mm-hmm.
They're they can't just be monkeys. They got to be Florida up a little bit. You got to sprinkle a little of that Florida dust on them. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't have when if I'm walking around San Francisco, I don't worry about, man, there could be a boa constrictor running around here in the wild. I don't have to worry about there's getting eaten by a crocodile or someone jacked up on Mountain Dew doing something kind of crazy. It's a different world there.
Yeah, it
Yes, I
is.
did say jacked up on Mountain Dew, but there's other things more important, more potent going on in Florida than Mountain Dew. I
Yeah.
just
Lots of
take out
things.
Mountain Dew and put in other things that are popular in the state of Florida, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But there's just too many of these stories, and I don't understand. It's like, why do people don't people step back and think like, hey, I'm mad. So I go over to the car, I spit on the car, I smack the phone at her, and now I'm in county lockup. Maybe that's the moment where I'm like, you know what?
It's time to
I'm gonna take a
reevaluate
deep,
my
I'm gonna
life.
take deep breaths. I'm gonna reevaluate. I need to do better. I don't need to
Mm-hmm.
be behind bars.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna change things. Not, you know what? I'm gonna take this up another level. I'm gonna baptize a fish now. Yeah, I'm gonna go to somebody's house and kill their fish. Question.
Yeah.
Most likely that fish didn't make it. Get flushed. You don't. Yeah, it's not making it. So
Well, I mean, no, it would eventually die,
yes,
but it is in water still, technically, when you
I
flush it
don't know
down the
about
toilet.
that.
So
Because you. I think it goes. There's water for a little while, but I don't think those pipes are all underwater all the time. So
I'm not a
those.
plumber. I don't know.
I don't think I don't think that fish is living its best life. Let's just say that. We
Yeah.
know that fish is not living its best life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it makes you wonder about these guys and why they make these decisions. And it also made me think about a story. This is when I was moving to Europe. There was a guy, he wanted to buy the car that I wanted my car, and I had a Jaguar Sport that I was just getting rid of, and it was a very nice car. I needed to get rid of it because I was moving to Europe, and so I was just like, give anyone who wants to buy it a killer deal, and I gave me it was a killer deal. And this guy showed up, and he bought the car for very little, and he takes off. And then about 3 o'clock in the morning, he comes back and he is like knocking at my door. He's all, like I said, jacked up on Mountain Dew. And I'm like, what the heck's going on? And he's like, I'm the man. I want my money back, all this stuff. Long story short, uh, police was called, everything. And the reason why I tell that story is because they were like, this guy had a long history of, getting upset with people, getting thrown in jail. And it was like the fourth time in a month that they had been looking for this guy that for incidences,
Mm-hmm.
and he was just on the run. The point is I'm getting at is sometimes these people don't it's like rinse and repeat. I make one bad decision, then I'm gonna follow it up with another bad decision, and then I'm gonna make a bad decision chaser afterwards.
Let
And
me
it's
just
just like,
let me
go
tell y'all
ahead.
something. Therapy is cheaper than lawyers and paying bonds. Get some therapy if you are keep going back to jail, and like you go to jail for yelling at a woman in her car, and then you flush somebody's fish down the toilet. I think it's time to get a grip, call a therapist, and get a handle on your life, okay? Because
You
it doesn't
sure? You sure
sound
therapy
like
isn't called a can of Natty Light in the backyard with a
actual
barbecue?
therapy, because obviously it sounds like the cans of Natty Light are not getting you anywhere.
They're little Natty Light, meth, other drugs. Those are not therapeutical items.
No, they're
You
not.
need you need that real deal situation, real therapy,
Mm-hmm.
because there are just too many incidences going on in that area, and there's no coincidence. You see things going on in Ohio and Pennsylvania and California and Nevada, you know, but why is it Florida is so extreme, right?
I couldn't tell
They
you.
do
I
it,
don't
they
know.
do it, they do it special.
They do it differently down there for sure.
See, they don't have all, like, even Texas. Texas is a huge state with a massive population. There it's like, yeah, you get some incidences, but for the most part, everyone's like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down with an 18-ounce steak and a ribeye and just cool. I mean, and a beer and just relax. Not They don't
Yeah.
have Florida don't have that relaxed moment.
Mm-hmm. No, they
And
don't.
maybe us Californians are way too chilled, and maybe that's what it is.
Well, I can
Because
tell you why the Californians are chill, but
oh, wow. See, I was about to have you elaborate, but I've decided not to. We're
hey, you
as
know what I
Samantha was
mean.
saying, as Samantha said, I'm not trying to get canceled on here. So that is hilarious.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any comments or anything with this dude?
No, this was an actual news article that I found, so
Wow,
but
man, it's just one of those things where people need to relax, stop making bad decision after bad decisions, and tell me this, Faith, you've seen that person where most times they're good people, and I'm not saying this guy could be a great guy, but I know a lot of guys like this who are for the most part most times good people, but they lose their temper, and then it's like keeping it real goes wrong, and then they
mm-hmm.
just blow their lives up, and
Yeah.
then they're back to being a normal person, and then they lose their temper, and then they do something they don't make that it goes 0 to 100 like that, not
No.
0 to 10, 0 to 20. There aren't levels to them. It's just either I'm chill or I have lost my mind, jumped out of the car, smacked the phone out of a person's hand, spit on their car. That shows a certain level of like unbalanced
Mm-hmm.
individual. That's
Yeah.
all I'm saying. Not someone you want to date, marry, or anything else. Just saying.
Yeah. Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Well, with that, we are going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into our oddities of the day. So make sure you guys stick around, and we will be back in a minute.